Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year again. We are back at the Miami Beach Antique Show here in Miami, Florida. We are displaying this year with our very good friends, the Davidoff Brothers, Momentum Dubai, Maman Luxury Collection, and Sonny's Collection. We are so excited to see everybody this year and see what crazy watches come out of the woodworks. Let's take a look. Okay, this we have for $4 grand already. 8 for the pair?
Or only use it if I buy it.
Sure. Okay.
Plus,
How much is the one?
That one I just, that's 10 bucks.
Dude, I used to sell these. I used to buy them.
The market is totally dead on that.
Well, it's the problem is all this stuff cyclical. All this stuff cyclical. So it's like the down now it's creeping back up. There's a lot of vintage Rolex. I think it's Panerai. I'm asking a fraction what I would have sold it 4 years ago.
The big crowns.
And then Gilt Dial Rolex was soft for a while. Now Gilt GMTs, I can't keep them in stock. They're nice, So it's all circus, Watch. That's I have no clue what that sells for, what it's worth. I've never had one in my life. How much is it?
I'm asking 25, but you make 10 for all three. Just money on it. Yeah.
Signed inside, I'm assuming, and all that stuff. I mean, it's coming from Merchant. I know he knows what he's doing.
This actually came out of fold.
They all come out of Polonaise, all oversized cases.
Of course. You're the man.
I don't think I've ever had one of these. It's a 18108. So it's bark finish, smooth bezel, or like smooth bark bezel, diamond dial, lemon diamond dial. But I've never had one of this reference. 18108. Yeah.
The bark finish on there.
Single click. Yeah, I generally don't like bark finish watches.
And that's the quick set.
Yeah, but some of them kind of just pop, and this is like a specific reference for it, which is cool. Condition's nice. I love lemon dials. There's something about them. It's not champagne, it's lemon. It's like a brighter color, different finish.
Good
Super
spot.
cool.
You're right about that.
All right, so sold 3 watches, bought 3 watches. We're off to a good start.
this is her watch. She's looking for an offer.
I didn't know it was a Zenith movement until 3 years ago when COVID. I was walking around and 5 guys asked me if I wanted to sell it. I didn't know what I bought. I traded in my old watch just because it was in the window and it was big and clunky and I like gold.
Right.
So I should have sold it, but I was in shock that they were offering me 50 grand. Once I said 49, one said 48.
Yeah, you should have sold it. That was a really crazy offer you got, I'll be honest with you. But even when they offered you that was a crazy offer. So here's my issue. It needs several links, unless you have them. Okay. Then it's not an issue. This little part, the fold-over part, is missing.
I saw it online. I should have bought it and then it was gone.
Yeah, it needs a work. My number's going to start with a 2.
Nope.
Not before.
Everyone made something that looked like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we're probably never going to see those prices again, so I could let it sit in my drawer. I thought I'd ask.
No, of course.
You never know.
We sell these retail, all cleaned up, ready to go, perfect, in the mid to high 20s. If it's a black dial, it's a little more desirable. That'll sell for 32.
I have a stainless with it.
On the gold
Call
models.
it no.
Yeah.
Stainless.
Oh, no, I understand. I was saying on the gold ones, people like the gold with black.
They like
It's also more popular on stainless, but it's not as big of a price difference. But it's a great watch, And if you bought it years ago,
They want the actual certificate.
Yeah, I think with the trade-in, 30,000.
You're doing great. But don't feel too bad about not selling it for the. I've done worse. Don't lose sleep over it. Don't lose sleep over it. I've done way worse. Got a lot of watches here.
How much is even prior?
75.
Where's all the normal watches you sell me all the time? All the sports Rolex. Mi amor, how much is the 16618?
22.
Better dial it, please.
But you can make an offer so I'm open to it.
What reference is that? Do you know?
It's a 18048. That's a Crown Collection.
How much is this watch?
17.5. You bought it?
They're online for less.
The Crown Collection?
Yeah, 18048. I haven't had this reference in a long time, so I wanted to do some research.
No, but this is something different. See? This is new.
No, I get that, but you want 17.5?
Well, I agree. How much do you pay anyway?
16.5?
No, the least I can do is 17, but I mean, it's at the top of the top.
Okay, 17.
Hey dude, we just bought this
Okay.
Asherite.
Ashford. What is stone?
Mega rare. I don't know, but it's Ashford.
Matches your jacket.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Hold up, look at that. This is beautiful.
It's insane, right?
Oh my god.
Never stocked one.
White gold matching bracelet.
Very interesting, you know?
Wow. That is insane.
Piaget bracelet, signed, unpolished,
The bridge is,
no hairlines, no cracks.
the movement is the
I
bridge.
mean, I've never seen something like this.
Me neither. It's got to be from like the 80s.
Piaget experimented with a lot of newer case. Yeah, I think so. But Piaget's experimented with different stones for the dials, so who knows? Maybe it's unique.
I don't know if I'm unique. Who knows? I've never seen this. I didn't know this stone existed. Beautiful, man. I'm happy we bought this.
We did well.
You should wear it. It matches your jacket perfectly.
The retail is $27.5. And you want how much for it?
I'm in there for 14.
And you want how much for it?
What do you offer?
To be fair,
Yeah.
I'll do the 14 credit with him. If you weren't his friend, I would probably offer you a little bit less.
You want?
But you are his
Probably
friend.
would have offered me 2,000 more.
Yeah, probably less. 2,000 less. So the Freak Acts, what they've done is they scaled down the model. Ludwig Arslan and Rolf Schneider, 21 years ago, wanted to come up with a watch that has no face. Hence, this watch has no face. That's why you see the movement exposed and the hands exposed and everything is revolved around this. In the last 20 years, this watch has evolved over numerous amounts of time, adding numerous technologies like silicium technologies, constant escapement, use of funky materials and things of that nature. Watch my video on Instagram. The last one they did is the Freak Nomad S. That watch is $150,000. It actually incorporates all that technology. But in between, I believe this was 2017 or 18, I don't remember exactly, they wanted to give a more affordable option. And the one thing that Freak is known for is the fact that it also has no crown, no face, no frown. So what they did is they simplified the movement, it would have made it cheaper to produce, and they made one that's actually affordable that retails sub $30,000, and that's what this is.
What's so special about that AP, sir?
So this is, I think it still remains to be the thinnest automatic tourbillon. I don't think anybody's made one thinner.
It was the
but it
thinnest
was,
automatic turret, yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I said I think it still remains as the
I
thinnest
don't think
automatic.
that, no, Bulgaria, I think, yeah, they,
6-7 years ago, nobody wanted this watch. You could pick them up in the teens. Now it's a 40K plus watch.
I remember last one I had, I paid 14 and I sold it for 17 and I was happy.
No, now like you can't keep them in stock. Last one we had sold before we even got to posting on social media.
Yeah, I guess.
So this one has full dial, replace movement, and replace down. It dates like the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, so it was, what movement is that?
That's a movement.
Damn, so they had a leftover dial.
Yeah.
But then
the dial is a great dial.
It is a great dial.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. This is a 60s dial. It's just
Yeah,
like
I know.
leftover
And
in
the
their
case
stock.
is 20s or 30s, and the movement is 70s, I guess, or 80s.
Yeah, 70s.
Yeah.
For sure. This is sure. The 96 in steel, 1934. The original Calatrava dial.
Yeah.
When you think Calatrava, this is what
Exactly
you think
right.
of. This is what pops into your mind. The quintessential, as they say.
Sleeping.
So nobody gives a shit. However, this is an extremely rare watch.
So this is a pre-A1. What that means is that it's pre-series. So Panerai was a family-owned company. They had kind of three eras, right? So they had vintage era, which was the watches they made for the Italian Navy frogmen back in the 1930s through the 1960s, and they made kind of just more than two models, but essentially 2 to 3 models back then. In the 90s, they started selling to the public. Actually, it was the late 80s. They had a pre-Vendôme era. Vendôme is Richemont. It was called Vendôme Luxury Group back then. Turned into Richemont. In 1997, they got purchased by Vendôme Luxury Group. When Vendôme Luxury Group bought them, they used the leftover cases from the pre-Vendôme era, but left the crown guard polished instead of brushed, and they used leftover dials, and they just printed a new font on it.
That's crazy.
And so this is essentially a transitional model, and the reason we call it pre-A is because the A series started in 1998. That was the first year Panerai actually had production watches, and it had A with the series number. This doesn't have that and has a 6500 case, which was made in Italy.
Yep.
When they started doing the A series, they were made in Switzerland. They were 6502 cases.
The Dino's
Yeah, super cool. Like this is actually pre-A is rarer than pre-V. And it's rarer than vintage because this is like a transitional model that was made with leftover parts. To see one of these is really rare. Like this
full set box there.
this watch right here, There was probably, if I had to estimate, there was probably 300 of them ever made.
Yep.
As drawn.
Here, look at this. I'm not kidding when I said it has all these documents.
How much you said?
13.5. No, the dial's all original for sure.
What's your best? Because
13.
13.5 is too much.
13.
Where's the box? The box has value.
This is perfect for retail.
Mike, I really want to buy something from you. I think it's beautiful. I really love the set. I really like everything, but you need to do something better than 13. It's perfectly a 12. Don't put it away.
Why?
Don't put it away.
I'm already coming down a lot. It's on for, look what the price on pushers right now.
But like, he's been lowballing everybody around.
Yeah, he's a lowball king. These balls are so low, they're dragging on the floor.
What are you talking about?
No.
I said 13.
I started at 13.5, now we're at 13.
13.5,
It's a retail show, my friend. It's the first hour.
12.5. You want to do the first Mazal, my first
already sold
Mazal
something.
in the US in history.
13.
With you.
13.
12.5. 12.5 is good.
I don't want 12.
Why?
Because not enough.
Gonna be matching number 13.
Cool. I'd rather bring it home. It'll sell before the end. There's no doubt it's going to sell.
To me for 12.5, it's okay. I get it. 12.5, I get it.
I already said no to 12.5. Be my absolute best. I swear to God, if you say no, I will not sell it to you at any price. 12.8.
The chain wound and it features. Thank you.
No, it's not 300.
Cool for 0.18, and it fits me on the tightest one. So
All right, let me think about it.
to come to shows and
Tell you. Well, 5. It looks a little weird. Is the
It looks
crown?
like it's off center.
The crown is like has little scratches on it.
No, I just a little oxidized, but it almost looks like it's off center. Where's mine? Hold on. Hold on. Phone. Where does this dial look off center? And maybe it's just my mind is playing tricks on me.
It's good.
It's good. So maybe my mind's playing tricks on me.
It's good.
And what do you feel? Because these are both 16018s. They both. This is mine. I know, but this Swiss is a little higher. No, that's what we're trying to buy. Swiss is a little higher, but they're both. I mean, I've had the high Swiss on stone dials, but
I think it's good.
yeah, it looks fine. I should do. My mind it looks like it's off center, but I guess it's just my mind's playing tricks on it.
The hand's a little bit matted out. Or it's
Yeah, there's oxidation on the coronet too.
Yeah.
Like it's. Okay.
I think it's good.
Thank you.
The guy got it from it cost him 17.
Okay.
I'd rather just sell it.
What you want? 22. I
Deal.
So look at the patina on this case. Holy moly.
Nice.
Beautiful. You have to go with something that you connect with because you're the one wearing it, you know?
On these, because sometimes you look at the bracelets from back in the day and they kind of look.
So this era Jubilee did not stand the test of time well. That being said, they're very comfortable to wear. So if you find one that's reasonably still well put together,
Right. So this Jubilee, they might, one of them might fit better than the other. Based on just how they
face how they wore and aged, you know? So you're welcome to try one on if you want.
I mean, twist my arm.
That's what we're here for. That's what the
mean,
show's
I've never-
about. You know, because it's so hard for a lot of people to experience vintage watches because unless you're in a major city that has somebody like me,
I know.
you know,
I mean, even in DC, we're a major city, but we don't have anything like this. Man. Anyway, and you look at these online. My brother, he's got a couple, but he is totally anti-vintage. And he looks at him and goes, but it's faded, it's dated. I go, you got to see it in person.
you don't understand what you're looking at.
You got to see it in
Yeah,
person.
but so I was a modern watch guy before I was a vintage guy. And then I traded, it was actually around here somewhere, I traded a Panerai and a modern Royal Oak Bumblebee for a vintage Daytona. And the second I put it on my wrist, I had a couple other small vintage watches, like $1,000, $1,500. But the second I put that Daytona on my wrist, it was like a light bulb went off. And within the next couple months, I sold every single modern watch I had and just started collecting vintage because it spoke to me. I love the history. I love the character. I love that you could find something unique to you. You know?
You ever find the Jubilee on the Explorer?
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of the different bracelets were used for the same model. So you could have an Explorer with a rivet bracelet like that, a Jubilee, and it's still correct because they sold them on different places and you could choose what bracelet you wanted. So it's not a big deal if you bought the watch and then you swap a bracelet as long as it's the Fury correct bracelet that would be born on it. And a lot of times, for example, I think we sold the red sub. We had a red Submariner here that had a bracelet that was 5 years later in the watch because it was replaced during service because the original bracelet was flimsy and they put their newer version of the bracelet, which is the heavy oyster.
That's the thing that you always wonder about. When you buy something that's vintage, if somebody tweaked it along the way. Did they tweak it in a way that ruined it, or is it period correct?
Right, it just depends on what happened.
But that's why we need you to.
You go to.
We need you to let us.
Listen, these watches were not collectible items back in the day, so you'd take it to Rolex, you'd take it to Patek, Vacheron, or whatever, and they would upgrade the watch to bring it to modern times or to fix it. You know, if it was the bracelet was flimsy, they'd put a service, a new bracelet on it for you. They were doing you a favor at the time.
Right, and they were probably just throwing them out.
30 years later, that this would be as collectible as it was, and that collectors would really search for the stuff that's all original. So there's no problem with having a later service bracelet. It's just a matter of the value.
So then the question then is polish. Is this like the dirty word, or like when is it like? Because like when you look at the stuff online, it goes vintage, whatever, unpolished.
And a lot of times there's a lot of hyperbole in that. A lot of people say that and they don't even know what it means. It always is preferable to buy a watch with an unpolished case just because it's a more desirable watch. But again, it just it boils down to value.
So for this Explorer 2,
correct. That case has been polished. No, that case has been polished, 100%. But it doesn't mean you should just throw away or discard or not consider the watch. It just depends on what it costs and how bad the polishing was, you know? Is the case still thick? Was it really rounded, really polished, you know? Right. It just depends, you know?
Can we take a look?
Of course, man.
This is another watch I've seen online 1,000 times and never have held it in my hand.
This is an MK1, so it has a straight hand with no bevel at the end with a lume dot. The very first iteration of this reference. So this bracelet is later than the watch. That would have been replaced in service.
Wow. I mean, the movement's great on it. I mean, there's nothing more 70s than that yellow and orange.
It's a vibe, for
I mean,
sure.
and you get a little bit of that.
Well, you see where the inspiration came from, for sure.
I wish they went back to these numbers when they updated this. And
they
this is
do
so
that for
good.
legibility. You know, that's why they have that. It doesn't look as cool. You got both though, but you're a perfect example. You have both modern and vintage watches.
I do.
And you like them both. They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
They are not mutually exclusive. But that particular, it's funny, I've never really liked the modern Explorer, and I love that. But something about the Explorer too, it's one of my favorite vintage. I'm a collector for like a zillion years.
They also should have increased the case size.
Never loved.
They should have kept it that 40 millimeter.
Well, they shouldn't have increased. I thought you said increased that. I'm like, dude, it's big enough already.
He just naturally aged this way, or what?
No, all of them oxidized, so it's a galvanic blue.
Yep. Basically went through a color. I'm super happy with it. So it started off as blue.
I've seen old catalog photos where you can see that it's blue.
Got it.
Like this kind of, these kind of things. I mean, they're all kind of hard to get and special, right?
Yeah.
Other than maybe this one.
The new RD2 or 33, whatever, I love.
Someone was talking to me about getting this. Do I want that if I can get it, the RD2?
I like it a
It's
lot.
A little high price, but
It's a high sticker, but
all these hold their value.
I'm
never getting this.
I don't love that watch. Everybody loves it.
I'm not getting it, so it doesn't matter.
Love.
This I really want.
Really love.
What do you feel about this?
Yeah, no.
Don't love.
I'm on the fence.
Don't love.
Because that's what they're going to offer me. They were supposed to offer me this last year. And these
Any of the double mounts are very cool.
Well, these they discontinued some now, by the way. This one and this one's discontinued.
Yeah.
It's only the salmon and
For
this
me,
is limited.
this is the best. You
But
know,
very limited.
Right. I mean,
but you think I'm always saying? I mean, I like to buy what I like if I like it. There's no say it away. I'm at a point now. I know.
You know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
There are no guarantees in life. No one is a crystal ball.
I mean, and I don't care so much. I don't care. I mean, I'm not as worried when I'm buying a $15,000 to $30,000 watch. But if I buy a $100,000 watch, I don't really want it to become
100%. You want it to become a 40,000.
Yeah. I mean, look, if it became 80, that's fine. It's even better if it becomes 150. But I don't want it.
I don't think those watches ever do. But there's no guarantees. So make sure you really love it.
This one.
Are you a big believer? Are you sold or not sold?
Listen, Vacheron is absolutely legendary, iconic, and paved the way for all independents that have since come. Okay? So, absolutely.
Would you buy a Resonance if they gave it to you too? So, like buying yours
early Resonance? You use the new one.
Well, so,
But it's
then you gotta-
subjective.
Yeah, but
they're way more money.
But I'd rather buy retail.
100%. If they offer you one, absolutely fantastic watches. You always enjoy wearing it. It is a piece of art. It is a piece of history at this point.
So this is what I'm getting this year.
Octoluna?
And I wanted it in the dual metal, you know, the pot.
Yeah.
And I have,
Beautiful.
I have a brass movement. That was my first that I happen to have had. And then, like, so this is what I'm thinking. And it's like, even if I can get
Either
it, I'm
one.
trying to decide if I should spend either one. This is even more money, but these are like 200 down the line.
I love how you do like mood boards here.
I do. Well, especially if I'm coming to a place like this. So this is your world.
Okay.
Looking for prints if we can find one. I don't want to go crazy.
It's crazy, like, dude, it's so hard to find the prints. Yeah, like no one cares about them, but like find you one.
So I had, 5, 6, 7 of these in the
Right.
90s. I used to trade them all the time with Matt and Massimo.
These were like the hot watches.
That and bubble
These were
backs.
the
Yeah, I had 12 bubble backs.
it's funny because
I only kept one.
we did an interview with Goldberger yesterday, and I were like, what were the hot
makes
watches?
sense, Steve, yeah.
Bubble backs, prints.
Bubble backs and prints.
Yeah.
How I started collecting when I went to, my IWJD number is like 700 and something. Give you a funny idea. I haven't been, by the way, in 5 years. That's what I used to buy.
Right.
And that's how I started collecting was bubble backs and old like dates. The date, like, the 34 millimeter
Right.
date just with the cool funky dials, and that's how I got on the Rolex.
So obviously more modern.
Well,
70,
I'll talk to that in a minute.
the-
So now we'll come to this. So I'm looking for
the nice pump pushers.
a 30,000-ish, one in the 30s.
Yeah. First of all, one in the 30,000 is going to have major condition issues or a service style, and for somebody like you, I'd say to spend the extra 10, 15 grand and get a nice one. You don't have to get a
So
perfect
you don't
one
think
for
I can get
60.
you don't think I can get under 40?
I could get it for you. It's just not going to be one that I'm going to want for you. It's just not going to be nice. It's not going to be a good one.
But if I want to go back to,
And I generally only buy nice ones. I don't even stock shitty ones. So like,
but if
I'll
I
find
want-
it for you.
But if I want to buy a vintage Daytona again, I still have one Newman. By the way, my first Paul Newman, what did I pay for it? What do you think?
$35,000.
11.
Still have it?
I don't have the one I paid 11 for. I have
Did
the
you
one
sell
no, but I do have the one I paid 14.
What did you
for.
sell it for?
40 or 50. This is like in 2001.
That's funny. What do you? 8171.
So, same gig. Bought that one for 11, sold for 60, by the way.
Yep.
So I'm trying to go back to some of the stuff
Right.
that but what's your thought on this with a redone dial?
With a redone dial? I mean, if you want a cool one as a beater.
I just don't think I want to spend
15, 20 grand.
Right. So that's what you in the 20s, right?
That's it.
Yeah. Do you ever find them?
There was one that offered to me today. I mean, I told him it was a 15, 20K wash, and he didn't seem to like that answer. He knew it was redone. He said it was refinished.
I don't normally like the.
I think Matt used to have one.
He did. He got rid of it.
Okay.
I don't normally like to do that, but I just don't. I want it for like the wearing the beater. Maybe I keep it for years. Maybe I keep. I still think I want to spend 80 to 120 grand or more even now. They just blew up, right?
Yeah. So. I don't listen.
Do you have any? But are you like dead set? Like, is it silly for me to buy a redone beater? Like, I just have enough other watches. I shouldn't. I just think I like the look.
If you just like the look and you like, and listen, still a piece of history, still original Rolex product, and as long as you understand what you're buying, what you do,
But for 20, I mean, I'm not going to pay 40 for a redone with something.
Sure,
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it. You understand that it's not like some great collector
And it's
item.
never going to go. I
And
get
it's
it.
never,
right, exactly.
But if you want to just wear it and enjoy it, have the classic reference, I don't see a problem with that, man. This is supposed to be fun. Like all of this shit here is supposed to be fun,
So those are the 3 vintage. So think of them, keep them in mind. I'll text you. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, just text me that mood. But like legitimately, I only buy them if they're super nice because the ability to sell an okay Newman versus a very good Newman is night and day. So I pass on so many of them and only buy the really nice ones. That one's one of the nicest styles I've had. Fast. You can see like the case. You see how there's no rounding to the pinhole?
Yeah.
That means that side of the case has never been polished. It's a nice case. You can see it on all of the pinholes too. That's why I dare say it's unpolished, but it's more. It's an honest watch. You can feel how sharp the bezel is. Usually the bezel gets worn down, rounded. So
Is this the best exotic dial? This is the 3-color?
that's the only one, that or white. Would be the only one that would work for you. So
But this
I
is
personally
this
love
is
2-color 6262. So this case, but with a 2-color dial, different reference that Rolex made for 1 year because I like 2 colors. But if you have a 6239, it has to be that. It can't be a 2-color dial. You know what's nice about this? It has the original 71 end bracelet. That's like a $10,000 bracelet by itself. Impossible to find. Yeah, point. As like the one Daytona to rule them all. You know, and like pristine Newmans in auction have been going crazy, but they have to be fucking You know?
So here are my top picks for today on the Miami show. Let's start with the Datejust. This is not just a Datejust, it is a 1601 from the mid-60s in white gold. Extremely, extremely rare case. Super nice condition. And it has an amazing dial. This is a gilt dial. Gilt dial means that the print is not white, it's not silver. The print is actually has a golden hue. This watch has doorstep markers. It has beautifully aged looms on the dial and on the hands. The watch is absolutely spectacular. To find a gilt dial on a dress watch is not very common, and even if you find them, then in most cases they're crazed, they're discolored, especially for the old ones which have radium. This one is a tritium, so thankfully the dial has not taken any damage from the looms. The looms really create a nice contrast. That's why we put a bright strap on it. Very, very cool watch. You have the dagger hands, absolute super example. You really don't find many of these. This is a watch we've taken out probably most today and yesterday out of the showcase. The next one is a very rare 1803. This is from the 70s and it has the Sequoia wood dial. So when we look at wood dial day dates, most of the wood dial day dates are 5-digit. So they will have the birch, the walnut or the burl dial, which all have a lacquer on the wood to protect it from aging. This is the earliest wood dial known for Rolex day dates. It's a Sequoia wood. You see it has a very rustical, very solid, genuine, unfinished look. You see the veins here almost like on a piece of furniture. Usually it was very fragile. There's not many which have survived in such a nice condition. This is without any cracks. Usually there is a crack here at 12 o'clock, almost on 6 of 10 pieces you look at, there's damage to it. This one's in excellent condition, and the look is very, very cool. It's a very rustical, raw look of the dial. With matching hands here, the loom plots are mostly available, and all that in a really nice case with a matching clasp. The condition is absolute spectacular. It's probably the rarest wood dial Rolex has done. Let's go to the last pick for today. This is an 1803 in yellow gold from the early 60s. And it has a beautiful claw dial. You see the faceted markers which are very pointy to the inside. It creates a very nice look, especially because of the step on the edge. This is a pipe hand dial. It has matching hands, absolute spectacular. The dial shows very, very little aging. It's very nice. A silver, almost all opaline finish dial. And the star here is the bracelet. It's an original Rolex Milanese, or we call it mesh bracelet, in absolute undamaged condition. In many cases, they will have cracks here. This is absolute sturdy. And this is one of the mesh bracelets that can be actually worn because it's sturdy, it's a little bit thicker. It just gives a super powerful look, like you're the coolest guy in the room with this watch. Super nice condition. The bracelet is also, this is very, very important, the bracelet is not sized, which means it's in full length, and whoever buys it can choose to make it shorter. If not, he has the full length. There's a lot of value here. Let me put it on. Wow.
Yeah. I didn't come here.
And many people who see these watches with the special bracelets, they will go and source a super rare dial and put it in this watch. This watch looks amazing as it is. You don't need to do anything. Has a, I think, Spanish date disc, which is nicely aged too. The dial looks absolutely spectacular. The claw dial has a very powerful look.
So Asprey had like a contract with Rolex for 100 years or something. So they're like one of the only ones that they allow to do custom dials.
Rolex is not going to sue them. Yeah, that's correct. So since they've had an association with Asprey for so long, they still have under contract that they're allowed to do stuff like this. So it's Asprey on the dial, Asprey on the back, full box papers, and you can send it to Rolex for service. This is a Japanese independent watchmaker. Dear friend, he's amazing. I was so, you know.
Very different.
Yeah, I've been to his place a couple times in Tokyo, and like to watch the guy hand engrave these dials, his guys, like.
Are you getting into a lot of independent makers now?
I don't. Peru is Mr. Independent in terms of selling them. I just like to buy them for myself, you know, because for me there's a big, you know, when I look at modern watches, they don't give me the same emotion as a vintage watch, except as it relates to independence, you know. certain independent watches give me that same emotion as a great vintage watch, you know? So for my own personal collecting, all the modern stuff I own are independents, and then it's obviously mostly vintage. So for me, I'm always picking up, like if I'm wearing GMT, it's always going to be a vintage GMT over like the new one that everybody's watch is exactly the same, you know? When these watches when they were actually being used in service and they would go to a watchmaker, the military watchmakers would repaint them, remove Tornek Rayville and reapply all of the lume, and we call them sterile dials. So this watch, my friend found it as a sterile dial. He's a huge blanc. He's probably the biggest Blancpain historian in the world in terms of vintage 50 fathoms, and Tornex as well. And so he found this watch as a sterile dial, was able to source a factory original dial, and the sale includes both the sterile dial that he found this watch in and the original factory dial.
And which is this?
This is the factory dial, of course.
This is the original factory.
Correct.
Okay. But it's been serviced or...
It has a whole booklet from Blancpain because it went to Blancpain for service, authentication, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I think they actually reapplied the luminous in the hands because it had cracked out, and it's all been done by Blancpain. Everything like well documented. It's wild to me that he was able to find the original dial because that's like a needle in a haystack there. But if anybody could do it, it'd be that guy because Blancpain is like his life, you know. He's had a website dedicated to vintage Blancpain 50 fathoms, and whenever I don't know something, which is rare about these watches, that's the guy I call. He used to even sell parts to Blancpain for their historic department. He's the guy.
Did you swim with this or what?
You can. I mean, it went to Blancpain. It's got new gaskets and everything. I personally wouldn't. Just because you always run the risk of something happening, and then finding that dial again should something happen is, again, going to be impossible. I mean, I guess never say never, but I personally just don't like to screw in anything that is not easily replaceable. I stick to like modern watches or cheaper watches. You know, even the watch you're wearing now, like, God forbid something happens to that. You send that to RM, they can fix it. God forbid something happens to that, there's no going back, you know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But with a vintage watch, the way they age is always unique. The characteristics are always unique. So if you damage that integrity, there's no going back, you know? There's no restoring original patina, you know?
Well, this is a great collection you have.
Yeah, well, these are my favorite dive watches. So whenever I get them in stock, I'm like happy to have them.
That price, does that reflect the fact that it's not all original?
Well, it is all original, but there is a history there. But yes, the price reflects that because like a perfect, unrestored, untouched example is well into the six figures for these. Yeah. So
how many are left?
There was 1,000 made. How many survived? I'll have to guess a couple hundred or less.
Mid-size 222s in gold, and Adam has the diamond dial one. And I have the non-diamond dial set with the jumbo. They made 5 of these. They're not sure how many they made of these. There's only 2 known. And at the archives, they told us that they made 5 of these in 1978, and then it was immediately discontinued. That's what I do. Because it's like a men's size and it had diamonds, and it was like super expensive already in gold plus the diamonds. Like,
what I love in the vintage world is that it's a lot of observational, where basically like only like so many have been seen, or like how many dials have been made. So it's quite interesting is that this
I've made 2 known. That's a different way of saying.
Yeah, that's true. So there's only 2 ever showed up, and they know that they made only 5. And what's really cool about this one, they only made like 700 movements. So in all variations. Yeah. And what's really cool is that if you look close up, you will notice that the bezel is a bit brownish. Yeah. And you will see even the back of the lugs, you'll see the patina. But because this was worn and safe kept at the same time, all the patina came off where the skin contacts, and the rest of the watch has this beautiful, like, dark orangey brown finish. The dial is absolutely perfect. I call it like a mini 25-26.
Yeah, I can wipe that out.
Please do not. No, we completely fell in love with the watch.
Should I put in the ultrasound for you?
Yes, we completely fell in love with the watch. Original buckle, original strap. No, but this is really, really spectacular piece. It's funny because the base movement is actually from Jaeger-LeCoultre, and it's common to a few brands like Vacheron as well. And the nice
super high-end finishing and a beautiful rotor with the Clou de
Like
Paris.
gold Guilloche rotor.
Yeah,
cool.
If I can open this, I can open it. I can. Look at this out.
So strong.
Ta-da.
These are gorgeous movements. That like the mid-century Côte d'Europe / Guilloche rotors, and you have those on Vacheron.
I used to have a Vacheron with a very similar.
Exactly.
Same movement. It wouldn't be
same base.
Yeah.
Same base. Vacheron had a different rotor. Actually, you can see there's 4 on the Vacheron. You can see 4 ruby little like wheels for greater stability.
There's actually quite a lot of similarities between Vacheron and AP.
They have the same movement makers.
No, but also, like, even this watch, for example, could it be an AP or no? I'm saying they made the exact same bracelet, similar case, similar ultra thin perpetual calendar.
The bracelet maker was the same. The case maker was the same.
And what's nice about this set is that so you have the watch, the box,
the pin,
the 19019.
the setting pin, the original warranty card, and the original receipt.
How much?
So it was like,
condition.
so it's in Hong Kong dollars from 1996. It works out to like $97,000. And it was probably because like the year before Hong Kong was given back to China by the UK, and so I'm assuming people were trying to put all their money into like assets. It's like quick, hurry up and buy stuff. Oh yes, this is a pre-China Hong Kong purchase.
They call this the Morse. Put it in the back.
Serious question, have you bought anything this show?
Yeah, I bought a lot of stuff.
So show me.
It's back in it.
All right, I haven't had time to like go down to my booth mates and see like what anybody else has done, and it sucks because like Carell sold an Sienna watch that I would have bought from him, and he's literally right next to me.
I'm literally going to show you stuff that I have purchased. Some of it already went.
What have you purchased in Japan? Did you sell it?
Someone says they're coming to see it. Someone serious. This is a yellow gold mini Cobra with green stone, either jade or malachite or nephrite.
Like I said, I
markers.
think it looks jade to me.
Yeah, very unique.
I said it before, I'll say it again. I love to shit on your watches. This is a fucking great one.
Thank you.
This is a great one. Like you don't see this.
Yeah, that's why I picked it up. I paid up for it too.
Yeah. I love how like the light plays against the dial and it changes colors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, stunning. Yeah. What else you get?
You got the white gold mid-sized crystal ore. Yeah, white is very rare, as you know.
I don't think I've ever had one in white.
And even though it's mid-sized, it's still bigger than the regular men's Tank Louis. So it's really like, it wears more like the jumbo automatic.
Yeah, it's a good size.
Yeah, I mean.
And it has good wrist presence because of how high it sits on the wrist. You know?
Yeah,
it's
it's
a nice
cool
watch.
one.
What do these run?
I'm asking 26 for it.
Can't find it.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess. I don't know the value. I would call somebody like you to like tell me what to pay for this. What else we get?
This lapis lazuli Patek Philippe horizontal ellipse.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much is this?
Selling it for 14.
Oh, if it was under 10, I'd buy from you because I need a gift of something like
buy
this.
more
for a
of them
friend.
if I could find them.
No, I know. I'm not saying like it's overpriced.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like I need something exactly like this as a gift for somebody. So I know he wants something like this, but I want to find him like a great one.
A vintage watch.
Ideally like an 8 to 9K range.
Right. I found this. This is cool because it's like a super full set. You know, it's a Cartier Ceinture box, papers, and original receipt from Macy's. This was purchased in Macy's.
They sold Cartier back then?
I guess so, in 1980.
That's not only a receipt, but it's like the credit card receipt too.
Have you ever seen this stone?
Yeah, I have.
Oh yeah.
But you never see him in person. Wild. Look at that.
Australian opal, he says?
Yeah. You know, the crazy part is that like, it looks like it's like cracked, but that's not. That's how it's supposed to be. Yeah. It looks like it's like tiny little pieces all put together, but that's how it's supposed to be.
I rarely get really excited about watches these days because I've seen pretty much everything. This is a watch. It's the first time we actually have in stock. We've seen tons of them. It's a quasi-unworn platinum skeleton for the Apollo 11 anniversary. It was released in 1994. I had the pleasure of meeting the guy that was in charge of product development in the 90s at Omega, and is Daniel Strom, and his father Armin Strom was the guy who did all the engraving. So this watch has a couple of cool innovations. This is the first watch to have a domed sapphire, because back in the day they only knew how to make flat or a little bit domed, but this actually has like a box, so it really like the plexiglass ones, but it in sapphire. It was the first generation to appear with this. It's a platinum watch. You can see clearly here Apollo 11 anniversary, 1969, 1984 for the 25th. And what's really cool is that it's fully skeletonized, front and back. And one of my favorite words to use for truly unworn watches is the goop, because a lot of brands would put like blue goop or purple goop to protect the case back. And you can see really, really beautiful condition watch. And I absolutely love this watch.
This is Roy's special talent.
Show us what you can.
So Julia won.
Oh, nice. It's a good grip. Where's the slice?
This in the middle?
Yes, with the ostrich.
This is an incredibly rare watch. There's only a few of them known in the world.
Then you are talking about big zeros.
Well, it has 6 digits. It's from the 1940s. It's an Audemars Piguet Precision.
Wow.
It's, like I said, only a handful of them known in existence. It sold in Christie's just to give you an idea, in 2021 for $115,000.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just one of those watches that you never see. You know, and Patek made a similar watch that there's only a couple known. So the people who can't get the Patek look for the AP, but then you can never find the AP version either, you know? So the fact that it's here, it's a unicorn.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Absolutely incredible
I
watch.
just passed and I saw it and I said, you know.
You have good taste. You have really good taste.
Yeah, but the pocket is not as good as the taste. That's just the bad thing. Yeah.
This is like one of the greatest values in
They're
watches.
such sleepers. They're such sleepers, man. It's ridiculous.
If this thing said Patek Philippe or AP on the dollar, it'd be worth
Triple.
400.
Yeah.
No, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
I mean,
10
well,
times.
yeah. Well, yeah. If we're Patek, of course. No. It's such a sleeper, and the design of it is so unique, and it's really, really cool. Yeah, I always eyed these things as like why are these things so cheap?
For around 20 grand, I really don't think there's a better watch. I really, it's a little like, it's not sporty enough, I don't think, for like the general public. That's, I think, why it doesn't get as much appreciation as it should.
So dude, what are the favorite watches that you bought at this show that you think I'll like? Like if you had to
during the show.
Yeah, like during the show. If you had to pick stuff for me that you bought during this show.
Okay, let's start with number 1.
Okay.
Because you will probably be able to educate all of us more as to what actual car this is.
Oh,
so, Audemars Piguet, hand engraved that they made
It's
in the
a
90s.
it looks like a Bugatti. It's a it looks like a Gangloff body 57. Looks like a Gangloff body type 57.
We didn't know. None of us knew.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's
cool.
one. I mean, obviously, you got to check to see because I know you generally wear bigger watches.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's a
Super
statement.
cool.
And then also, I guarantee you one of your clients will be like, oh my God, I need that. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like something you could enjoy, and then like one of your crazy car clients.
Dude, a guy with a 57 actually. Jokes aside, we should talk about this after. I have a guy who has 3 of these cars. We should talk.
There's your client.
Yeah, there you go.
There's
That is the client. That is.
So
the
the last
I guarantee
one
you does not know that exists.
The last one I had of these, with the Ferrari on it, that was in Millie Mickey. I sold to a Formula 1 driver. Like it made sense. It's got to go to the right people, you know. I didn't buy these. I'll be honest. Very open. They're to me on consignment. It's funny because this was I was the underbidder on this watch when I sold to Christie's 3 years ago.
Okay.
But the guy who bought it is a good friend of mine, and we've known each other for years now.
Okay.
These are 2 of like the probably the 2 rarest APs in the room.
Okay.
Both 1940s. Gobi Milano signed chronograph,
Wow.
Art Deco numerals, precision steel with 2-tone, gold markers, hands, crown. Incredible, like crazy rare
cool.
watch.
The chrono does it for me, man. The chrono's absolutely incredible. So cool.
But then other stuff that I bought that you would like. Let's go through. This is you.
It is
5971P, circa 2010.
It is me.
Factory diamonds.
It is me.
Factory bling.
All right.
Factory Matthew.
All right. Let's see. Should we see what Factory Matthew
Take it
looks
for a
like?
test drive.
All right. Factory Matthew's going on a test drive. It's hair and diamonds. But say whatever you want. This thing is
How about you?
absolutely epic. This is so cool.
I've been looking for a vintage gold Newman for a long time, and it isn't here to.
Like as cool as that watch is, I love this. So this 6239 champagne, not a Newman, but like way rare. Box papers sold by Bucher, third of the price, like way rare. But like everybody loves Newman, and I get that,
So help me. I mean, like honestly, I was talking to Carol about this. Like I'm still learning. Like I love vintage Rolex.
Right.
I've gone to a couple of like option previews and like tried stuff on. The spectrum of prices is all over the place. It's like all over the place. How do I not make a stupid decision.
Well, I mean, first of all, now you know Carl and I, so it helps. Not that like we're the end all be all, but we know we've been around the block. It always boils down to a condition. Condition is always going to rule the day. So like the nicer condition watches are always going to sell for all the money. And then it also boils down to the variant. So like he said, I think he mentioned he wanted like a 6263 Panda, right?
That's kind of what I was
The one
thinking.
everybody
The one everyone wants. Yeah.
So like that's going to be.
So I saw where you go. He's at Sotheby's for like low 300s with the oyster.
It's an average example.
And how do I know what makes it like an average example?
You ask me and I point
someone
out.
like you.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos, but I try to like help people understand. So like it always boils down to are there marks on the dial? How nice are the original loom plots? You know, like how polished is the case? What's the bezel condition like?
I've also read like all the Prez scope stuff, and that's like terrifying also as well. Like,
Listen, he's done a lot of good, but understand
I have
there's
this database, and this watch was sold at auction at like 1996.
It doesn't happen as often as people think, but like you read that article and you're like, oh my god, but like in reality there's thousands of watches and then there's like one bad one, but there happens to be in a big public auction, so it makes headlines, you know? So you know, guys like dude, I guarantee my watches for life. I don't want anybody to ever think that like they
to come up and like be like, oh, this is not
Send it back.
whatever.
Send it back, you know?
Have you even seen these with the I think it's Bakelite?
So this is a
bezel?
6241 Bakelite, the 6239 gold bezel.
Right.
You know?
And you can get a 6239 with the Bakelite, right?
No.
Is that right?
Since I mean, that is only going to be steel or gold bezel. Like this reference in gold, never find it. If you go look online right now for 6239 in gold, it's been you can find 6241 as a gold.
And only like what, 2,000 gold vintage Daytonas.
So I actually have somewhere. Actually, you know what? Hey Tarek, do you have that screenshot of how many gold Daytonas were produced? And he's got it. Like he has somebody inside a Rolex who actually got the production numbers somehow. So there were 300 of those ever produced. 6241, 14 karat 450. Yeah, dude, there's only 300 of these that were ever made.
And probably half of them are just
and
like
they were all
gone
18
forever.
karat. No, but so like if you think about it, there was 750 of these produced total. There was 300 of these produced total.
And how many so 14 karat for the American market?
Yes.
That's considered more rare and more desirable and more durable?
It's considered more rare.
Okay.
Less desirable.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
People like the gold.
Is it more durable, the 14 karat?
I don't know. We'd say more durable. I think it's Burkhardt C. I personally like 14 karat more because you see these like beautifully tarnished cases on 14 karat layers.
Yes.
Like you know when you see like wild patina, you see them on 18 karat, but you almost see them a lot. You know, it's like a softer gold. It's like a more rosy gold.
This is lovely. I saw someone in the Air France.
People like get like listen. I love Newman. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes like there's things that are more interesting than a Newman. You know, that are cost less, that are cooler. You know.
A steel 6263 oyster.
So it's still 6263 Newman oyster. What you are thinking about getting. The range will be probably anywhere from like 450 to 650, depending on two things: condition and which execution dial. So there's like 3 different execution dials, technically 4.
So like this one at Southern, like what did I miss?
Show me.
The real nice thing to check your watch. Yeah. Oh yeah, you must have my watch.
Look at the loom. Look at the damage on the dial. There's no, first of all, most of the plots are completely gone. So if you see all the loom dots are still intact here.
So what the condition report said that was that the consignor lived in a tropical climate, and so they'd be turned black.
Look at all the staining on the dial. The hash marks are missing. Like this is a very worn example. The loom in the hands is gone.
Can that come from sunlight? The hash marks going on, or is that someone has like done shit?
It's not that someone done shit. It probably, don't forget, they were printed on. The hash marks were printed on top of the dial. So, you know, it just worn off over time because at some point humidity got inside this case. You know, you could tell by the color, the aging. But dude, it's like literally missing chunks of the dial. So what'd this sell for?
$312.
It's like a lot. I wouldn't.
Interesting. Okay.
200 grand for this watch.
Interesting.
Just like, I would rather spend $500,000 for an excellent one and sell to for $520.
Yeah.
Like, then buy one like this. Yeah, hold on. Because like, dude, this is not. It's just not a nice example.
So you're saying for like in the 400s, you get one where the loom pots are like all there and like a bit like 30 rack stuff like that. This is lovely. This is lovely. I mean, this is just like amazing. So this would be like 69. Like,
so that's 14 karat, 6241.
Okay.
Yeah, circa 69. This watch, love solitude. For my money, 66 steel Panda.
You think?
It's the best vintage Newman. I personally love pump pushers, so my favorite is 6262. So it's the same 2-color dial, panda dial, but with pump pushers, so the same buttons with a regular steel bezel. But all things being equal, 663 panda is the best to me. Sorry, I'll say that's what I'm saying. I'm sticking with.
And if I want one, what do you think? Like, can you find that?
Yeah. Oh, dude, be patient. You gotta get the right one.
Yeah.
Like a guy like you who's just gonna buy a couple more key vintage watches, wait and get the right one. Don't settle for a Sotheby's absolute one.
Yeah.
Because once you learn a little bit more, if you'd bought that, once you learn of it a little more and you show some vintage guys, you would have been so unhappy with that watch. That watch is for somebody who understands vintage and just wants a cheap 663 Newman.
No.
And for me, that's not even cheap enough, Oh, hello, friends.
Hello.
All right, we're at the end of the show.
Brother.
Tell me about your favorite buys, favorite sales, favorite whatever. Just razzle-dazzle me, guy.
I just bought this exceptional one.
What'd you get?
Vacheron. Look at that crazy shape.
I thought it was Patek first.
Condition.
Yeah, original strap, original buckle.
Lovely watch.
What else? Show us some other cool stuff.
A lot of hits at the show on this one.
Well, you sold a lot of stuff,
yes,
right?
We sold.
All right, so what's your favorite watch that did not sell?
Watches that I'm shocked.
Overlooking.
I'm shocked nobody bought this one. From the 1970s with the automatic movement. Look at that thinness.
Look at that engraved
dial.
dial. It's like an optical illusion.
It's amazing.
Whoa.
And the condition is...
Would you consider that guilloche or engraved?
Yeah, when they ask me what is this dial called, I say guilloche.
That is nuts.
The warmth of the patina. Look at that. Oxidation. Wow. It's a nice watch.
Whoa. It's literally like a rainbow.
Lovely.
What else? Show me one more.
This one I particularly love personally. Because it's like a fun little watch from Patek Philippe. Look at that.
That is really nice.
Cool.
Really nice. I love the markers.
Yeah, I love the white
Because usually on these Ellipse family, you only see a plain dial with nothing on it at all.
I
like the ones you have over there.
And white handset, like a blue Buckley dial. It gives me that vibe.
Nice. Well, did you have a good show though, otherwise?
Tremendous. Tremendous. A lot of people came. Hey guy, I follow you on Instagram, I love it. Hey guy, I bought the watch from you, here I am.
Hey guy, I saw your Menta watches.
Hey, a lot of people, hey guy, really? I saw the interview from Menta watches, that's where I found you from.
Well, next year you're going to be on.
A lot of people.
Next year you're moving to our
Yes.
row. We're going to make it the most happening row at the convention center. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I can't wait, brother.
Love you, brother. Well, that about wraps it up for our coverage of the 2025 Original Miami Beach Antique Show. Guys, this year was amazing. All of you that came out, there were so many people, so much excitement. It was probably the best show that I could recall in the past decade. If you haven't been before and you liked watching this video, consider coming out next year in 2026. We have such a blast hosting such a great event on Friday night get together. This year we had well over 200 people in attendance, and we have such a fun time at our booth for 5 days straight. It is such an amazing event, probably the best event in the watch world, I would say. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, please remember to comment, like, subscribe, all the good YouTube stuff, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
I hope we soon find a cure for whatever Adam has.
Oh.